Hey guys, Martin here bringing a Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so now we're going to be taking a look at the INT hit Rainbow full level 10 links. As I mentioned in the Goku video, obviously I got absolutely destroyed in my summons, did not pull either of the two new units. So when it comes to showcasing these guys and checking out some different builds of their teams, checking out how well they themselves are going to run on other teams, I am essentially now restricted to just using the private server, and you know, it is what it is. It's not something that I want to do for like all units going forwards. I like to pull the new units, get the 55% showcase done, and then obviously if I'm trying them out on different team builds, I will then just be using my 55% version of the character. But unfortunately, you know, can't do that this time around. As we get more stones throughout the celebration, I might do another rotation on hit spanner, but obviously, you know, once this celebration starts and we start getting the content and everything for part one, kind of need to start building up stones ready for part two. So the team that we're running for hit is definitely a bit on the weird side. The thing I don't like about his leader skill is like Universe 6 is pretty much just unviable at this point. Until maybe we get some other easy A's during the celebration. Maybe the part 2 LR will be like a Kefla or something. It's not a great category. Rapid growth has some decent options, and then accelerated battle is obviously a really good category that keeps getting buffs. But it makes it so that his team is kind of like Glorio's team, where the team can have a load of really good accelerated battle characters on it, but then they're not necessarily characters that work super well with hit. So we're going to check him out. He infinitely stacks attack and defense. So obviously he's going to be good for like the Festival of Battles. He does immense damage, has a high chance to stun. As long as you have 2 or more tournament participant allies or another Universe 6 ally, he gets his intro, which gives him 20% extra dodge, 160 extra defense, and launches an additional super, all for 6 turns. So he has 2 key, 200% attack and defense, high chance to crit, high chance to dodge. So with the intro buff active, obviously he has a 70% chance to dodge. He gets an additional attack that has a great chance to become a super. So he can already do for the first 6 turns. He's going to do 3 attacks guaranteed, 2 of which are going to be supers. And then of course he could do the hidden potential as well. When attacking with 12 or more key, he gets 100% attack and defense. This is obviously really good for a stacker, because the higher he's stacking, remember that's then going to double when he attacks. For every attack performed, he gets 60% attack within the turn. So very much like Glorio, you'll see him with like each super attack, he will be jumping up pretty significantly with each number, as well as the fact that he is permanently stacking with his super attack effect. Then he gets 60% defense and 6% dodge chance with each attack he evades within the turn. So every time he dodges, his dodge just gets even higher, as well as getting the extra defense. So if he dodges a couple of attacks and then does take a hit, he's going to be even more tanky. And then every time he does the 3rd super, he lowers the enemy's attack and defense, seals the enemy, and action breaks the enemy. So obviously with the RNG, he could get 3 supers in his first turn. So that can be very useful. And then when the enemy is HP 60% or less, or attack down, defense down, stunned, or sealed, he gets an extra 60% attack, and attacks guaranteed to hit. Then he has the improvement thing, which is basically like a transformation. It can be activated after he attacks 6 or more times, so they don't have to be supers. So bear in mind, at most he can do 4 in one turn, or when he evades 3 or more enemy attacks. So we're going to go ahead and build up towards that, because obviously he has one of those transformations where there realistically is no reason not to just do it straight away. Like, he doesn't get like a buff for a certain number of turns when he transforms or something like that, right? So realistically, once you can transform with him, there's no real reason not to. He gets a bunch of extra buffs. A lot of the stuff from his pre-transformation passive that is conditional is then just part of his base kit. And then obviously it's post-transformation, he also picks up the extra ability, which we won't be seeing on this team, which is the when he has a full Universe 6 rotation, he has a Scouter. Now, obviously that could definitely be very useful in situations, but as we said right at the beginning, the Universe 6 is just not really very viable. So the chances of you building a team where you're going to have a full Universe 6 rotation in really difficult content is going to be kind of slim, right? There's not a lot of opportunities for that. Like, we did the Seriously Serious Battles stage against the Goku, where dodge isn't disabled, so you can use the Tech Cauliflas. That event can be attack lowered, which I think is one of the main reasons why it kind of is doable with that team. But some of the more difficult events, especially the ones that disable dodge, like a Universe 6 team is just going to be absolutely terrible. So fortunately for Hit, it is one of those things, and this is why I don't mind sometimes abilities that do have these kind of very strict restrictions. Him just not having a scouter doesn't suddenly make him like not a good unit, right? Whereas with Goku not having the full Universe 7 rotation, he misses out on so much attack power, and like attack is like the only thing that he's supposed to be there for, right? We're also checking out the Magetta banner unit. Both the banner units are terrible, but I did use the Piccolo in the Goku showcase. So he does do supreme damage, raise allies attack and defense for 2 turns, which I guess is nice. And then he has 30% damage reduction. He gets 200% defense when he receives an attack, which is cool. He doesn't have guard or change the orbs here because not all allies are Universe 6, so that's kind of awkward. When attacking with 12 or more ki, he is going to give all the allies some extra defense. And then when he receives a super attack, he gets 20% extra damage reduction just for the super. The very first time, he actually gets an extra 40%, but that's only once. But then after he does receive a super, he gets stunned for 3 turns, which, I mean, realistically, if you're just using him as a floating support unit, that's not really the end of the world, because he's going to be gone for 3 turns anyway. So then when he comes back, he would be unstunned again. And since he's going to be in slot 3, he gets to attack, then he gets attacked potentially with a super, gets stunned, and then he's unstunned when he comes back around anyway. So I saw people complaining about that design, like he posts, like the details get posted, and I saw comments of people saying like, lol, he gets stunned, like he's so bad. But realistically, if you're floating him as a support unit, like it doesn't really matter because he's unstunned when he comes back around. The thing that makes him like not good is that realistically, without a full Universe 6 rotation, he's not going to be very great defensively anyway. He's only providing 20% defensive support to like the other allies, like non-Universe 6. And then what are we talking attack stat wise? I can't imagine he's doing like crazy down. Yeah, 3.1 million. Oof. Okay, well, not great. At least he tanks the normals for double digit damage, but yeah, that's definitely not what we would like to see. But yeah, the big thing about this Hit team, as I said, like it just kind of, there's no real shame on Hit because he's obviously very good, but like his team just kind of feels like it ends up being an accelerated battle team led by Hit rather than like Hit's team with units that go well with Hit, right? And as I say, by the end of the celebration, we could see that change. You know, the STR, God Goku and Hit are a great link partner for him on his full leader skill. Them getting an easy A, like a very good easy A, would be really, really good for this Hit. And like he links really well with Pycon, who he would be on Glorio's team with, but Pycon's not on his team. So I'm just not a huge fan of his leader skill. It's not that his team is bad. It's just like, it feels like it's not his team, right? And it's one of those things that's kind of different for Glorio, because Glorio, his team is basically like that, right? Where you can run these whole different setups of accelerated battle or battle of wits or demonic power characters, and none of them really have to go super well with Glorio because he's just there to float in slot 3 and give support, and then he himself in slot 3 can still do some pretty decent attack stats and has the dodge and everything. So it's not like it really matters whether the team gels well with him. Whereas for Hit, like he wants to be on rotation, so he's like the unit that we want the team to sort of work around. Annoyingly as well, this guy's not going to be good enough to tank in slot 1 here if he gets supered by Zamasu. I really want him to have Cold Judgment active from Glorio as well, because bear in mind, if he's got 600k defense here, even without the stacks from his super attack effect, he gets 100% when he supers, so he already goes up to like 1.2 million, which is really good. Am I going to be able to rely on this guy in slot 1? I feel like no, right? Although he's got 70% damage reduction and guard, so if we do this, give him the full key, grab these for you, and then grab these for you. So we didn't get supered in slot 1 anyway, so we should be fine, especially post super. We will be fine if he does take a super attack. But it kind of, building his team, it does have the same sort of issues as Glorio's team, where it's like, who do you use as a slot 1? You could use Hit as a slot 1 early on, but you're kind of, especially early when it comes to taking a super attack, you are very much relying on him getting that dodge, which, you know, it is 70% for the first 7 turns, but typical, like, that number has become so common now. It's so funny, like, when UI Goku released, and it was like, he's got a 70% chance to dodge, like, that was crazy, but we all saw, even right from his original release, like the 6 via LR, right, the fact that he could actually not dodge, like, a whole bunch of times and end up losing you runs. And now we have so many units, whether they're, like, supports or, like, this Hit, where they have a 70% chance to dodge, but if it comes to, like, having to rely on them in slot 1, you are entirely relying on that dodge, because if they then take the Hit instead, they're going to be taking too much damage, especially from a big super attack. Now, Hit obviously does have the advantage of being a stacking unit, so the more he does, like, the attacks and builds up, the stronger he's going to be, to the point where he could go in slot 1, because he's going to build up a high enough level of defense for that to be viable against certain bosses. But against the hardest hitting bosses in the game, like, some of these bosses are dropping like 5 to 6 million damage supers. His defense isn't going to be getting up to that kind of level in the time that it takes to get to those bosses. Like against Jiren, for example, in the Universe Survival Saga stage of the Goku or Vegeta Story Red Zone, you're getting to him, like, even if you're kind of longing it out a little bit, you're getting to him at, like, what, stage 10, like turn 10, 11, maybe? So, you know, he's not going to be at, like, 3 million defense start of turn, which even then, that wouldn't be enough, right? Especially before he attacks. Because he's at 600k here, so he goes up to 1.2 million without even, like, the stacks or anything. But he has no other defensive abilities outside of the dodge. So, obviously, his best position really is slot 2, because once he's done, like, the 3rd super as well, he gets the action break, which can be really useful, especially if the super is, like, the direct next attack after he attacks. Then he has quite a high potential of getting off the 3 supers in 1 turn and then action breaking that attack. Obviously, giving him additional is probably, I would say the best build for him is like full additional and then the rest into dodge, because he has quite a lot of dodge chance anyway, and hidden potential dodge doesn't stack with passive dodge. So he's going to have 70%, and then let's say you give him, like, because he's an int unit, you can get him up to like full 30 dodge. That doesn't make it 100%, right? It makes it a 70% and then a separate 30%, which is still good. But I think for him, with the 70% in his passive, like, you can see him here dodging away. I think it's more important to make sure you get those additionals for the stacking, as well as obviously going for being able to get that 3rd super in the turn and actually do some damage. Damn, it's at 240k. Because, yeah, he doesn't have guard if we don't have a full Universe 6 rotation. But, like, damn, that is, yeah, a lot of damage. Again, like, the Universe 6 team needs to become actually, like, a viable full team for that Magetta to have even any chance of being usable. And even then, he's not, like, it's not like he's going to be that good, right? Okay, so we can go ahead and use Hit's active skill here. So we'll go ahead and do this.
Inspires evolution in a warrior's talents. And I'll keep on improving.
Okay, so once he's transformed, he does have an active skill, does ultimate damage, and is a Ghost Usher, which is really good. Can be activated when HP is 66% or less, or when facing only one enemy starting from the 6th turn from the start of battle. So by the time we transformed him here, it is turn 6, which means we would be able to use it straight away. His super attack is now greatly raise attack and defense, which is still an infinite stack, but it's obviously the bigger raise. Immense damage and a 70% chance to stun. And now we have 3 key, 260 attack and defense, great chance to crit, great chance to dodge, gets a guaranteed additional super, and an additional attack that has a great chance to become a super. Attacks guaranteed to hit, lowers the enemy's attack and seal. So all of these things that were conditional pre-transformation are just all part of his kit. When attacking with 12 key, he gets 160% attack and defense and gets the action break. For each attack performed, he gets 66% attack within the turn, and each attack evaded, 66% defense and an extra 6% dodge. When all allies are Universe 6, he gets the Scouter, like we said, and then receiving an attack from an enemy who's hit by his super, chance of evading extra 16%. So when he hits the enemy with his attack, again, the reason why he kind of wants to be a slot 2 unit is he super attacks the enemy and then immediately has an 86% chance to dodge, which if he then dodges that attack, he gets the extra 6%, then he has a 92% chance to dodge. So after he's attacked, he should be dodging pretty much everything like left and right, which will be obviously very, very good. I do want to get some extra defense with both of the year 10 LRs here. So we're going to go ahead and do this, grab the tech orbs for Vegeta, should give you a nice little bit of a buff. And then we'll see how we get on here. So 13 mil is where we're starting out here. The super attack animation doesn't change, but there's the action break, which of course is now guaranteed. We don't have to rely on the 3 attacks, he just does it. Then he jumps up to 18. Then we only get the additional normal from the passive. Can we get the hidden potential? We do not. Because yeah, I want to see a turn where he does like the 3 or 4 supers, because you can really see with that 66% attack with each extra attack that he does, like the first attack stat compared to especially like the 4th one, if you get the hidden potential and you get the full like 4 super turn, like his attack stats going from the 1st super to the 4th super are yeah, you can really see that big increase in the overall numbers. So his start of turn defense obviously can be kind of deceptive, because not only is he getting the big buffs mid-turn, he gets the 100%, well, he gets 160% when he attacks now in the transformed state. So even when you see his start of turn defense, it's actually going to be just over 1.5 times more than that, which is obviously very, very good, especially as he stacks in these longer events. So as we mentioned earlier on, right, like he's going to be a very, very good unit for the Festival of Battles. If that is an event that you still are yet to beat, then obviously he's going to be very, very good there. So, okay, so let's go ahead and I might as well turn the animation off here for this, so we can just go ahead and pop this, get the second hit transformed here. So obviously he's going to have Cold Judgment active with Glorio. So he's at 637k start of turn. So 637, which might as well put in the full thing, 991, plus 160% when attacking. So he already goes up to 1.65 million defense, but then he's also greatly raising attack with every super that he does. So he's like well over 2 million defense, depending on how many supers he does. He can get even higher, of course. Action breaks the enemy. Once he's hit them with his attack, he has an 86% chance to dodge. So, like, hit is really, really good. Damn, that's a lot of damage for the Great Ape Vegeta. But yeah, post-super, I mean, I guess he's got no links active, which doesn't really help. But, and only the 1 Glorio on the team. Like, double Glorio support provides so much for Glorio's team, having, like, the double Glorio support active basically all the time. But, yeah, that's a lot of damage for the tech Vegeta. And obviously, like I say, Hit's team can be really good because the team doesn't really necessarily worry about Hit that much. Like, just having the 10th anniversary LRs on the team obviously means we can then have like the Gogeta active skill, the Vegito active with the whole taunt turn with the counters and everything. So Hit himself can still do very well outside of like the team not even really being built around him. You can see here the 4th attack of the turn, the hidden potential super, 24 million. There's the crit, because he's got a 70% crit chance as well. And then yeah, there's the dodge, which of course each dodge increases his dodge chance. So I mean, post attack, once he's dodged what, twice? No, 3 times, because after he's dodged twice it should be 98%, right? So if you can put him in a slot where he attacks and then there's like 6 or 7 attacks, once he's dodged the first like 3, he's just going to dodge all of the attacks guaranteed, because he goes over 100% dodge chance, which is, again, obviously very, very good for any of these difficult events that don't disable dodge. And then even in events that do disable dodge, like if he's getting up well over 2 million defense after supering, he's going to be tanking like all normals without any issue. The problem is going to be against those bosses that disable dodge, like Jiren, who are hitting for like 5 or 6 million damage supers. He's obviously not going to be tanking those particularly well. But I'm definitely interested to see what his attack stat is going to be on this turn in particular. So we can go ahead and transform Gogeta. Let's use Gogeta's active skill. Obviously this can, I guess we might as well do it on this turn because it's going to be boosted by Gogeta's active skill. But we can go ahead and do Hit's active skill here as well. The time skip Molotov. So let's go ahead and use that. Obviously with him being a stacker, the later you wait to use the active skill, the more damage it's going to do. So that's something to bear in mind. Yeah, pretty decent damage. We get the crit, and then obviously it's an it's a Ghost Usher, so all of their attacks removed for the turn as well. Grab the rainbows with you. Grab those for you. And then grab those for you. Gogeta getting the Dokkan attack here as well. So there should be a lot of damage this turn. We've got a few decent links active here. We should have Warriors of Universe 6 active with Magetta as well. So a couple of links active for hit. I mean, obviously on the Gogeta active skill turn is not something we can use to like judge other units realistically, because it's something that comes along like once in the event. But it is always fun to see like characters on the turn with this AGL Gogeta active skill. Considering hit, we've seen him get up to like, what, 24 million by his final attack of the turn. This is one of those turns where we really want to get that good RNG and get like the 4 supers and see what he can build up to here in the one turn. But yeah, 22 for Gogeta. I mean, Gogeta, that's funny, obviously like he would be so cracked if it wasn't, but like his buff obviously doesn't affect him. So if it wasn't like that and he buffed himself as well, that would be insane. But there you go. So just starting off at like 30 million. And the thing is, again, like Gogeta is a unit that you can just run on his team. So it's not like this is an unrealistic setup that we're running. But he jumps from 30 million to 38.5. So, you know, that's pretty good. With a 70% chance to crit backing it up, then of course we get the additional normal and we don't get the hidden potential. Magetta might actually die here to normal. Actually, how many normals even are there in slot 3? Okay, there were none. That's good. So I guess we can, what, do the time skip Molotov here again as well. Get rid of you. I'll get rid of all the attacks from you. I do love the like end bit. It's kind of funny seeing like him looking down with the quote coming up while like the damage and the like Ghost Usher icons are still there. But go ahead and do this. I mean, I guess we don't need the Vegito active. Well, we wouldn't use the Vegito fusion and active skill on this turn anyway, right? Because there's not going to be any attacks. But so this is a bit more of a sort of common sort of turn that we'll see if we have this kind of team build without all these Universe 6 characters and such, right? Where we've literally only got Fierce Battle and Experienced Fighters active. We're still at 21 million. So that's still very, very good. And like I say, his defense is going to be well over 2 million at this point after getting these attacks off. Jumps up to basically 27 on the second attack. $33.1. Jeez. Okay. Can we get the fourth one as well? Yeah, nice. 40. Jeez. So he went from like 20 something, early 20s to like 40 million within the same turn by getting, and that's on a turn where he has 2 links active and barely any support. Like, yeah, pretty good, I would say, this hit. So I think we can probably call it there. These guys have so much HP. Like, this event takes so long to kill these guys. I mean, realistically, in a couple of turns, we're going to have the Vegito back, like, with Vegito. But, yeah, hit is definitely a very, very good unit. Post-transformation, I mean, I think post-transformation, taking, like, slot 1 out of the argument, because he is kind of relying on dodge in slot 1. But he's one of those units, like post-transformation, I think you could easily argue him as the best TUR in the game. As I say, his only downside will be when it comes to tanking like the big supers. But you can see here, start of turn, he's at, what, is that 1.1 million? So he's getting 160% on super without even considering the stacks. So it's what, 115,9984 plus 160% is 3 million. And then of course there's the stacks as well that are each greatly raising. But it still means, unfortunately, his defense gets to those levels where, if we're saying like he has like 4 million defense, he's tanking all normals in the game, but then still dying to a super that does like 5 million, because it then does 1 million damage to him, right? And no teams have that much HP at the moment, outside of like some meme builds that aren't going to be tanking those kind of supers anyway. So it's an interesting thing. His unit is really, really good. There are certain situations where he can come undone for sure, but he is absolutely fantastic unit. His team has a lot of options. He can go on that Glorio team, which is definitely a video that I'm going to do. So let me know what you guys think of INT Hit down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.